Have you ever reached that point in a relationship where you realize you're worth more than the emotional chaos you've been living in? Have you ever had the strength to walk away, not out of anger, but out of wisdom? Believe me, when a woman finally grasps that she has lost you, it hits her like a cold, brutal wave. But here's the thing, this is when you, as a high-value man, truly reveal the power of emotional control. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, taught us one undeniable truth. Emotional detachment is not weakness, it's strength. And when a woman realizes you're no longer emotionally available, that's when the real battle begins. She will feel the shock of losing you, but it's more than that. It's the realization that she's lost someone who doesn't need her to feel complete. The Stoics understood this principle. When you are self-sufficient, unwavering in your principles, and at peace with yourself, you become irresistible. Let's dive deep into her psyche and uncover the raw truths behind the emotional journey she faces when she realizes she's lost a high-value man like you. The first shock. Now, this isn't just a fleeting emotion, it's a tidal wave of realization that sweeps over her, one she can't ignore. Imagine this, you've been a consistent presence in her life, a man who didn't chase her, but lived with purpose. You didn't beg for attention or validation, and when you walked away, something deep within her stirred. It's at this moment, when she realizes you're no longer emotionally available or eager to please, that the shock sets in. You see, women are biologically wired to crave security, but not just any security, a deep emotional one. They want a man who is unwavering, steady, and strong in his own principles. When you detach and stop seeking her approval, you create an emotional void that she can't fill. You've taken your emotional value off the table, and now she must confront the harsh reality that you were never as easily replaceable as she thought. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, understood the concept of emotional control better than anyone. He wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice." This is exactly what you're doing when you maintain emotional composure and detach with dignity. It's not about getting revenge on her. It's about demonstrating that your emotions and worth are not dictated by her actions or presence. Like the Stoics, you choose to remain unwavering, unmoved by external circumstances. When you step back emotionally, you show her that you do not live in reaction to her behavior. You are not her puppet, and that's a powerful realization for any woman. She'll feel that shift, that absence, because you're not playing her game anymore. The shock isn't just her missing you, it's her realizing that you're the man who has the inner strength to walk away, not to be controlled by fleeting emotions or moments. You hold the power. Believe me. That realization stings. Regret and introspection. She begins to ask herself, why didn't I realize this sooner? The truth is, women are wired to constantly assess their surroundings. And when something valuable is taken away from them, their minds go into overdrive. It's like a switch flips. And now she's analyzing every decision she made, every word she said, and every action she took in the relationship. The Stoics understood this perfectly. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When a woman loses you, Her thoughts turn inward. She begins to reflect on how she treated you, why she may have taken you for granted, or why she couldn't see your value before. This introspection can last for weeks, even months. Here's the hard truth. Warrior women like challenges. When you become distant and no longer chase her, the emotional equation flips. She starts wondering, was I too cold? Did I make him feel unimportant? She'll search for the answer, digging into her own actions to find that one moment when she lost you. Her pride may stand in the way of admitting it, but deep down, the regret starts to settle in. Don't be fooled into thinking all women are immune to this self-reflection. Even the most independent, high-value woman will, at some point, question her actions and wonder what went wrong. But here's the thing. It's not about making her feel sorry for what she did. It's about her coming to terms with the fact that the man who once was by her side has now elevated himself beyond her reach. She begins to feel the weight of her mistakes, and it forces her to reconsider everything she thought she knew about relationships. Yearning to reconnect. When a woman realizes she's lost you, the next emotional wave she'll experience is an overwhelming desire to reconnect. But this isn't just any desire. It's a yearning, a deep, visceral need to pull you back into her life. This is where things get interesting. Warrior women are creatures of emotion, and when they realize they've lost someone valuable, they want to rebuild the connection. She'll start by testing the waters, reaching out with casual texts, hints, or even trying to initiate conversations that seem harmless. But don't be fooled, warrior. This is not about curiosity. It's a calculated move rooted in the biology of attraction. Women instinctively try to reassert control when they feel their position has been threatened. When you remain unmoved by her attempts, it only fuels her desire to prove that she can get you back. Here's the thing. This yearning is a manifestation of her desire to feel that emotional security once more. As a high-value man, you must understand that when you remain composed and uninterested in reconnecting on her terms, it becomes even more powerful. You are no longer the man she can take for granted, the one who will jump at her every whim. Your emotional unavailability turns into your greatest weapon. But remember this, it's not about playing games. It's about recognizing your own worth and never settling for someone who doesn't respect it. Persistent memories. When she loses you, it's not just your absence that haunts her. It's the memories of everything you once shared. These memories are like sharp echoes, constantly reverberating through her mind, reminding her of what she had and lost. At first, these memories may come in fleeting moments, passing thoughts as she walks down the street, or when she hears a song that reminds her of you. But as time wears on, those memories don't fade. They grow stronger. Think of them as an emotional tether, something she cannot easily sever. It's not simply nostalgia, it's the pain of realizing that what she thought was forever has slipped through her fingers. Believe me, warrior, it's a harsh reality. Just like Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher advised us to be indifferent to the things that are not within our power. Those memories become her burden to bear. At first, she may try to push them away, telling herself that she's moving on, but the human mind doesn't work like that. The past lingers, especially when it's tied to someone significant. These persistent memories become ghosts that occupy her thoughts, reminding her of the time you spent together, the way you made her feel, and the certainty you once had in your connection. But the real tragedy here is that she can't recreate what you were, no matter how many times she replays those memories. The emotional connection, the dynamic you shared, is irretrievable. That's why the memories start to sting even more. They remind her of her own vulnerability, the impermanence of everything she once held dear. And this, warrior, is where your strength comes into play. You've learned that the past is a teacher, not a place to live. You understand that your worth doesn't rest in what you've lost, but in how you rise and continue forward. When she's trapped in her own cycle of recollection, you remain firmly planted in the present, focused on your own growth and purpose. Your path is unwavering, while she, consumed by persistent memories, may remain shackled to what once was, pondering the what-ifs. The what-ifs. When the dust settles and the harsh realities of laws start to sink in, there's a deep psychological shift that takes place in her mind. She begins to ask herself, what if I had done things differently? These what-ifs are like mental traps that keep her cycling through past mistakes, causing her to be stuck in a loop of self-blame and regret. And while these what-ifs may seem like innocent musings, they are far more dangerous than they appear. They distort her perception of reality, making her believe she can rewrite history, that she can somehow fix the past. But the truth is, as Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher, said, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. The what-ifs are nothing more than imagined scenarios, empty of true substance. They lead nowhere. They hold no power except the power to prevent her from moving on and truly growing. You've seen it before. When men dwell on what could have been, it hinders their progress. The same applies here. Those who remain stuck in the what-ifs are the ones who fail to live fully in the present, who fail to see the opportunities before them. And this, warrior, is precisely where your Stoic strength comes into play. You do not dwell in the past. You do not linger in hypothetical situations. You know that the past is gone, and you embrace what lies ahead. You've learned that the only moment in life you can control is the present, and all of that is on the present. In the unknown,